because sometimes the raglan increases would feel a bit high up in your armpit, but the moment you add the sleeves, it just like evens out. So I decided I'm gonna first do the sleeves. Good day everyone, my name is Mariette, also known as the Boervrou, and welcome to episode 7 of the Crafty Stitches Podcast. Today is the 21st of March 2022 and I'm coming to you from South Africa. This podcast is all about the crafts that I'm making, whether it be sewing, knitting, crochet, or whatever I'm doing, and everything that I learn from these projects. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram as the Boervrou, and you can also find me on my website boervrou.co.za. All the things that I talk about will be linked down below, and I will also be adding chapters to the podcast if you would like to skip ahead or go back to something that you would like to see or maybe want to see again. Got my notes here as well. Let me quickly see if I've said everything that I need to. I think so. So let's just get right into this episode. What am I wearing? I am wearing my Sonder shawl by Expression Fiber Arts. I've made this shawl in a alpaca blend. I actually still have the label here. It was made with this yarn, and it is 25% alpaca, 25% wool, and 50% acrylic yarn, made in Turkey. I really love the shawl. It is a teensy bit scratchy, but not so much that I can't wear it. And it's been raining all morning, so it's just a little something to keep the shoulders and just for a warm and just a little bit extra for the arms. So that is what I'm wearing. I will link the project page down below for you, and I actually spoke about it in episode 2 if you would like to check that out. I do not have any finished objects this week. I just have works in progress and a new cast on that been calling my name a lot, and I battle to put it down and work on the other projects that I have. So let's go into works in progress. Right, for my first work in progress, I've got my Summer Crochet top or tee that I've been working on for a very long time. Which I have frocked many times. Let me talk about the yarn first. So for this, I am using Moya Piccolo in the colorway Periwinkle. It is a 100% cotton yarn, and I am using a 5mm hook for this project. This is the project that I started. It is my own design, and I have made a swatch for the yarn in the round and not turning, and yeah, it went all wonky and did things it was not supposed to, so I unraveled everything, I frocked it, and I redone my swatching with increases this time, and I think I made 4 swatches before I actually got it to lay flat and to get the raglan increases to lay on top of each other without going wonky. So I cast on the project again. Do you cast on crochet? I don't know, I guess so. Anyway, so I started the project again, and I calculated that I need to do increases every 2.5 rounds to get to the right bust size. So what I did is I'm actually increasing, making an increase row and then non-increase row, and somewhere between I do 2 no increase rows. So we will see how that will work out. I'm not sure yet, but this is what I have so far. I'm so impressed with myself. I really think it's working this time. I really do hope. But yes, this is how far I am again. So I have changed the beginning of round to the raglan, one of the raglan increase, or yeah, increase spots, and I am now turning the work after every row. So I'm working on this side, and when this row is finished, I'll turn the work and work in the other direction. So yes, this is what I have so far. If I put the raglan increase spaces on top of each other, it really seems as if the top part here is the same length. Doesn't seem to go wonky yet, and I hope it won't. So maybe I've sorted out this problem. We will see if I can put my new cast on down long enough so that I can work on this. But I actually started this again, I think it was on Friday afternoon. So yes, I did do a little bit, but not actually enough. But I will get to this project very soon, and yes. Oh, and something I wanted to say as well is I will be alternating colors for this project because it is hand-dyed yarn. I am very afraid of pooling, but I usually don't start alternating in the beginning of a ball. I usually work the ball until it is about 1/3 or a half finished, and then I add in the second ball. And my reason for that is that when alternating, you don't want to suddenly stop both balls at the same time. So I usually work the first ball for a while, as I said, until 1/3 or half of the yarn cake is finished, and then I add in the second one, so that if the first one is finished, I can add in the third one, and the second one will still go for a bit before that fades out. Most of the time it isn't that noticeable, but it all depends on what yarn you use, and so I will be starting to alternate with a second yarn cake for this top very soon. I am keeping the yarn cakes in my 50-gram yarn cake cozy. This is one of the first ones that I've made in some random acrylic yarn that I had lying around before I actually written up the pattern. So I'm keeping that in my cozy, and that is the progress for this top. Very excited. I hope that it is really going to work out this time. Oh, I wanted to add a stitch marker. A progress keeper. Let me do that. I've got a little progress keeper here from Ietsie Klein that I got from Little Yarn Croft for spending too much money. Shh, don't tell anyone. Alright, so now we will keep progress of where I was with this project for future episodes. So that is my first work in progress. My second whip is my husband's sole socks. And I'm also keeping my yarn in my 50-gram yarn cake cozy. This one is made from double knit Moya cotton. I think the colorway is Tanzanite. And in my previous episode, I was actually past the heel flap, but I did mention that I blocked the sock and it did not grow as much in length as I anticipated it to, and I had to rip back. After I filmed the episode, I ripped back to the gusset increases because I'm doing these toe up. I ripped back to the gusset increases and I've added the length that I needed for this sock, and I redid the gusset increases and the heel turn and the heel flap, and I knit until I reached the end of this skein of yarn. Okay, and then I put it on some thread and I blocked it again because this yarn grows when blocked. So then I blocked it again to make sure that it fits, and my husband put it on and it fits like a glove. So I decided to not continue with the sock for now because he likes a longer length for the leg. So I decided to start the second sock and finish it up to here, and then whatever I have left I will split in two and add it to both socks so that they can match in length. Now the reason why I didn't finish the sock with one skein of yarn is because I actually made two swatches with the yarn. One was a Beekeeper Cardigan swatch with some mohair yarn, which I don't know how much of this yarn I actually used for it. And then I made a swatch for a sock swatch. And you wouldn't believe me, I cannot find it. I don't know what I did with it. I do not believe that I've already knitted it into the sock. I'm sure it has to be somewhere, but I have looked everywhere and I can't find it. So anyway, I just called it quits and I decided to start the second sock, which is still a teensy tiny little toe, as you can see there. And as I said, I will just work this in the same manner as the first one, and then I'll split and use up everything that I have. The other thing is that I did have to do more rounds for the foot than I usually do because I'm using 2.3 millimeter needles instead of 2.5. So the row gauge is not the same as with the previous socks. Now I did take out just the progress keeper and I weighed the sock with the stitch markers or progress keepers in them, these ones, the bulb markers, and it only weighs 42 grams. So I'm not sure how long the socks will be. We will see when I get to that. But as I said, I'm going to try and use up all of the yarn to make the socks as long as possible. And I like to do a 20 round 2x2 ribbed cuff. So I'm not sure yet how I'll work that out, but I'll make a plan. Let me move this progress keeper up to the top. Navy yarn. One other thing that I can maybe mention is when you take the thread out and put your needles back in, it is advisable to tink back one round, just so that you have the correct stitch tension on the needles before you continue to knit the project again. Alright, so that is my progress keeper. This is one of a set that I got from Little Yarn Croft, and it is a Pincushion Crafts progress keeper. I really like these ones. So let me add one to the little toe. Otherwise I keep forgetting and I just start knitting, and then I have to go check my own podcast to see what the progress was in the previous episode. Alright, I've had it. So another Pincushion Crafts marker, progress keeper. So that is my sole socks. I've talked so randomly about this. I hope it all makes sense. Right, so that is the second whip. I didn't mention the yarn. This is African Expressions Soul, which is 15% kid mohair, 15% mulberry silk, 50% merino wool, and 20% polyamide. Okay, that is it for this project. I think I've said everything about it. Good. Let me just have a sip of water. Okay, moving on. My third whip is the corner to corner waffle stitch blanket that I started from acrylic cones, where I am holding two yarns double, one white and one white throughout the blanket, and different colors for every 2 rows that I do. This is the blanket. In our previous episode I was at this point, and I've added all of these rows to the blanket. I love it. It's colorful and thick and squishy, and I think it's just gorgeous. Let me just move this very big progress keeper. I actually made this for crochet things with this huge clasp. They are quite heavy, but in crochet projects it really doesn't matter. Well, for me it doesn't seem to matter. I mean, the stitches are quite nice and sturdy. I mean, you can even hang it up onto that and you won't even see it afterwards. Right, so I still do have all of these ends that's here. All of the ends except for this one is already weaved in. I just haven't cut them all off. But yes, I wanted a nice thick warm blanket, and I hope that this will be warm enough, warmer than the previous one that I have, which is a corner to corner blanket. It's actually this one behind me here. It is made from exactly the same yarns, but held single, and it's not very hot, so hopefully this will give more warmth. I'm still really enjoying the process of this. I just was very distracted by another project, and that's why I didn't make that much progress on it. But yes, that is my third whip. And then I'm sure you can guess or have already guessed, or maybe seen it on Instagram, I'm not sure, what my new cast on is. It is kind of a birthday cast on. I cast it on Saturday, and it was my birthday on Sunday, the 13th of March. I was born on a Friday, 13th of March. And anyway, here I am, and it was my birthday, and I had a wonderful day. I just made some breakfast in the morning. My brother-in-law and his wife was here. They came cycling, and we had breakfast in the morning, and I made some goat's milk tart, and we had that after breakfast because, I mean, why not? I didn't make cake. I wanted the milk tart, so I did that, and I sat on the couch, and my husband brought me coffee all day, and I just knit and knit and knit. So it was a wonderful day. Really enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed my new cast on. So let me show you this project. As I said, I really battle to put it down. So I cast on the Beekeeper Cardigan. I actually didn't go for any of the yarns that I already swatched for. I was looking through the cupboard, and I discovered some yarn from my mother-in-law. She had half a finished project, and it was stuffed in a plastic bag, and I saw this yarn and I thought, maybe I must try this. So I made a little swatch, and with the recommended needles, the 4.5mm needles, and the swatch was completely off. I took 5mm needles, redid the swatch, and got exact gauge. So I started it, and this is now very full of needles everywhere because I actually already split for the sleeves. And it's got lifelines and yarns and everything everywhere. Let me just try and make some sense of this. Right. I'm keeping this in a 100-gram yarn cake cozy. So this is my Beekeeper Cardigan. It's quite a mess. I must hold it up. So it's got some I won't really say short row shaping, but you don't cast on all the stitches, as you can see here in the beginning, and you just knit and add more as you go. That's why we've got all of the steps. But it will get a button band, so I'm sure that'll be sorted out. But I've already, as I said, split for the sleeves there. And then I had this problem, what am I going to do now? Because I want to start knitting the sleeves to see if the fit is right. Because sometimes just adding sleeves can pull the garment into proportion more like it would be when you wear it. Because sometimes the raglan increases would feel a bit high up in your armpit, but the moment you add the sleeves, it just like evens out. So I decided I'm gonna first do the sleeves, or at least half a sleeve or something, and then I couldn't stop. So this is already my sleeve, and I have already done 2 decreases here for the sleeve, because it decreases down to your wrist. Although I think, if I remember correctly, the pattern is a 3/4 length. So I'll still decide what I want to do when I get to that. But I'm very excited about this project. I don't know how good you can see this on screen. It's really got a beautiful texture. These little bees is really, really pretty. And it's got all this reverse stockinette at the top of the cardigan. Yeah, it's very addicting, this stitch pattern. I always thought that I like to knit mindless things, and this project definitely is not mindless. I mean, you have to think about it all the time, because as you do increases, you have to work out if you'll fit in more of the bees or not. The pattern is a little bit the pattern is written in such a way that you have to calculate and you have to think a bit. And it is a 12-row repeat, so yes, it keeps your mind occupied all the time. After all of the swatches that I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I made 6 swatches for this jersey, for this cardigan. So after all 6 swatches have been made, I kind of remember the pattern repeat quite nicely. So I just check every now and then to just see if I'm still on track and doing the right things. And I must say, I think that made it a bit easier to be able to calculate where the next piece should go. And I'm really enjoying this project. I hope that I am not playing yarn chicken here, because this yarn, I do not have a label for it. I remember very clearly what the label looks like, and I remember about a month or 2 or 3 months ago or something, I actually went onto Ravelry and I went in search for this yarn, and I know I found it, and I made a screenshot, and it's somewhere on my computer. So I'll have to go look for that and put in the yarn name for you. But I know that it's mostly acrylic, but it's got Angora rabbit hairs in it. So that is this fluff that you see everywhere. Goes a little bit. So it's very, very soft, and I think it will be warm even though it is a light color. Right. What else did I want to say about this pattern? Because I am now going off in all directions. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to say about the pattern. I am making the 4th size in the pattern. The 4th size. And because that's what I wanted to say. That I'm hoping that I'm not playing yarn chicken. The yarn is enough in meterage for the 5th size, but because I got gauge with 5mm needles, I don't know, I think I might use a little bit more yarn. So I really do hope that I have enough. And that is a second reason why I decided to knit the sleeves first, is because if I knit the sleeves to maybe a 3/4 length and stop and do the body, I can try and make use of most of the yarn and get the jersey as long of a length as I would like to wear before I maybe run out of yarn. So we will see how that works out. I hope that all my calculations is correct. Oh, let me add some progress keepers. How will I do that? I'm gonna add this one from the Lekker podcast. Yaleen gave 2 stitch markers to my friend Leanie of Independence Crochet, and she shared with me. So I now also have a Lekker podcast progress keeper. So every time I pick up my Beekeeper cardigan and knit on it, I think of Yaleen when I see her beautiful little progress keeper. I really love this logo with the little heart. It speaks to my heart. Anyway, okay, let me add another one to the sleeve, because otherwise I won't remember where I was. I'll try and remember that I didn't do the other sleeve yet. So let's add this other pincushion Croft progress keeper. Okay, that is that for this project. That is all of the project that I have this week. So let's move into news. Last week I released the pattern for the Rustic Dishcloth, which is this one. It is on Ravelry as well as on my website at a small fee for the PDF, just if you want and if you can support me in that way. I also made a free tutorial on YouTube for this dishcloth, and the idea was to do a little series of tutorials. Actually, it is one tutorial that I've broke up into 4 parts for beginner knitters. The first one is the long tail cast on. The second one is how to do the knit stitch. The third one is how to do the purl stitch. And the last one is how to do the lifted bind off. So I thought that goes quite nicely with this pattern. So in the dishcloth tutorial, if you are a beginner knitter and you would like to or is not sure how to make the stitches, there is little cards that pop up to take you to the video of how to do the knit stitch or the purl stitch or whatever you like to do. It is all linked in the description, and I will link the pattern and the tutorial for this little dishcloth if you're interested. Okay, what else? Okay, my next tutorial will be on the Tunisian purl stitch. I already did a tutorial on YouTube for how to do the foundation chain and foundation row for Tunisian crochet and the Tunisian simple stitch. So the third one will be the Tunisian purl stitch, and the reason for that is my next pattern that will be coming out is a Tunisian honeycomb placemat, where we will be working with more than one color. We will be working with 2 colors, and I will explain all of that in the pattern. I think that is it about the pattern. We also have some projects that's coming back to the shop, some creams that I make that I really love. It's these ones. It is the vanilla hand cream, and we also have the lavender hand cream and some bath salts. I also have a unfragranced cream, which is the one that I use most because of my dog that has an allergic reaction to most scents. So those will be in the shop if you're interested. I will also have a unfragranced option for people that would like that. I really love this creams. I've been using it for the past 7 years and been making it for that time. So that'll be coming back to the shop. And then one last thing that I will be adding to the shop is my limited edition bunny ginger cookies. I'll put a picture in here so that you can see. They will be added to the shop as a kind of a pre-order, and they will be going out the first week of April for Easter. Just a reminder or something to consider: if you do buy the pre-order cookies with something else, it will all ship at the same time in the first week of April when the cookies are freshly baked and goes out. So just remember, if you add something else to the basket, they will all go out at the same time. Right, so that is everything that I have for you today. I will be ending the episode with my usual comment question, and my comment question for this episode is a fun one. I would like to know, do you swatch for your projects? And if you do, what do you do with your swatches? I actually saw this idea when my friend Leanie of Independence Crochet and I went to the pop-up shop of Naughty Habit at Little Yarn Croft. And in the shop there was this ring full of knitted pieces of fabric. I guess it is for colors and so that you can feel what the yarn feels like when it's knitted up. And it was in this ring and it hang on the shelf. And I said to Leanie, I would love to have one of these. And then the other day I was cleaning up my my table, and I've got all of these swatches that I made for the Beekeeper Cardigan. And I thought, what am I doing with all of these swatches? And I saw that thing of Lauren's with all these swatches, and I thought, maybe I can do that. And I found this little hook that I have. I actually bought some measuring spoons that was on this hook, and I just added my swatches to it. These are some of the Beekeeper Cardigan swatches, and this is some design thing I was playing with. But anyway, so that is my ring of swatches. Not sure where I'm gonna hang it up. Maybe here somewhere. I don't know. I have to put a hook in here and hang it up. But yeah, I think this is quite fun. Because what else do you do with swatches than display them? So for now, it's just hanging here on the door of the cupboard next to me until I have another place for it to be. And yes, that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and commenting and so forth. I really enjoy talking to you in the comments and get to know you better. If you like this episode, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Just a fun, I just want to try and explain why we always say press the like button. I was explaining to my husband about the like button of YouTube videos, and he didn't understand it, and said he doesn't understand why it is important. So I was thinking and thinking and thinking of how to explain this, and the best solution I can come up with is if somebody buys something from you, maybe say a handmade product, you like to, well, if somebody buys something from me, which is maybe a handmade product or something that I made myself, I always like to get like feedback on the product. So I always like to ask, listen, did you enjoy it? Do you like it? That type of thing. And the like button to me is feedback. If you like the episode and you like the content, you think like, oh, I like that, and then you press the like button. And then somebody like me creating the videos knows that so many people watched it and so many people liked it. This is good content. Keep creating this type of content. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will see you in the next one. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.